In May 2019, Bury FC played their last game here at Gigg Lane, a 1-1 draw with Port Vale which sealed them automatic promotion to League One. Celebration, however, soon turned into disaster, as 3 months later they were kicked out of the Football League, but now, 3 years later, they are on their way back. However, a team under the guise Bury AFC have been formed in that time, and now a potential merger is on the cards. We're here to find out exactly what is going on.
My name is Matt Pickup. I am a member of Bury FC Supporters Society and have been a member and chaired the meetings of the Est 1885 supporters group. So the story of Bury FC from 2019 is that in August of that year we were expelled from the Football League. In the months prior to that we knew there had been problems, the players hadn't been paid, ultimately by the owner, Steve Dale. And then at that time the EFL weren't satisfied that there were requisite funds in place in order to fulfil the season. That's why we were expelled.
That sense of loss of control meant that, by creating it and founding it ourselves and ultimately by controlling its destiny, that would restore not just that sense of control, but also a sense of pride in the community. It feels like that sense of pride and that dignity had been stripped of us all.
COVID hit in March of that season eventually.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
During that time, there were various attempts from consortiums and individuals to try and buy the group, and the Supporters Society, who at that time were called Forever Bury, they were trying their best to see what deals could be done with Steve Dale. Dale tried to apply for a team to enter the National League system, but the application was rejected. And then in May of last year, 2021, me and my family and a group of former directors, businessmen, all Bury fans got together to see what could be done. We wouldn't have the funds to buy the limited company, but that we could buy the ground and the other assets such as the trading name, the memorabilia, the history. When the news broke about Gigg Lane being bought, we were already in. We've been talking to them for several months before, and so to be honest with you, we were expecting it. There were a few hiccups and a few delays along the way for it all, but so it wasn't a surprise, if you like. That the issue for us was then, right, how do we actually go about making this work? There'd been a bit of a period of downtime for us where they were focused on getting this deal over the line and dealing with all the legals and the complexities that sit around it. So we weren't able to push on as much as we'd have liked at that point in time. We've had an army of volunteers who've done such brilliant work, things like the windows and loads of other bits and pieces, which has been absolutely wonderful. The pitch, to begin with, wasn't great, but since then, as you'll see now, it's looking much better, and we've been able to have football matches on it. We've been working on this with them for at least 9 months now. So this isn't out of the blue, all of a sudden sort of moment that's happened. We have weekly calls with them, with the Bury Council, with various different parties on there. So no one's really sort of in the dark as to what's going on or where we're up to. We're just going through a process of dealing with all the fine detail at the moment before we can get things out to people. We are working towards a merger and amalgamation with Bury AFC. We have a working group set up with them, with Bury Council, with the Football Supporters Association, with Greater Manchester Combined Authority, to try and look at how we can do that, to agree heads of terms on what an amalgamation would look like, and then ultimately to put it to the vote for the two community benefit societies. Both parties will be strongly recommending that a merger goes ahead, because not merging is a really bad option. There are obviously bits of detail that there'll be questions that get asked along the way, but we've just overcome a pandemic where we've managed to ride out that particular storm. So there's nothing in front of us that I think that we should be worried about not being able to overcome along the way. So I'm hopeful that everybody will, vote in favour of this, and we can start on the real hard work, which is basically, what we do next. Obviously, we need to be prepared for what happens if that merge doesn't happen. We're trying to speak to the FA, which is proving pretty difficult at the moment. And so the FA, Bury Council, and ultimately ourselves want a merge to happen. There's a big stadium that we need to fill as much as possible and get football played there as quickly as we can. Timescales might be tricky because it requires various votes and cooling off periods and various other things. So If there's the will and people can act as soon as possible, then I still think there's a chance of getting football here, buying a men's elite team in August of this year.
My long-term hopes post-merger is that, ultimately we'll end up with a football club that has both a stadium and a football team that's ultimately controlled by its fans. I hope that it'll be really well run and financially sustainable into the future.
Time is against us and we really need to get things moving for that.
Some fascinating insight from representatives of both clubs who ultimately want to see football return to the town of Bury. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please let us know in the comments what you think. For more stories like this, check out thesportsman.com.